Good morning. This week in social studies, we are going to learn about a few people that help shape the community. I know we did something similar to this before Thanksgiving break, but these are all going to be different people. We are entering a new unit for social studies. It's called Communities in the Past and Present. Um, we are going to learn about how different communities are today versus communities back back then in the past in many different ways. And this week we're going to start by talking about some people from our past that helped shape the communities that we have today. Okay, so the first guy we're going to talk about is Daniel Boone. And I'll tell you, this is set up in a way where after each person, you can pause and then come back to the next day for the next person. Um, if you watch it all in one sitting, it is going to be kind of a long video. So just keep in mind that you have the opportunity to pause after each person and revisit it daily for a different person. Um, we're going to be talking about um, Daniel Boone, Juan de Leonte, Christopher Columbus, and our founding fathers, specifically Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, James Madison, John Adams, and Alexander Hamilton, along with Benjamin Franklin. Okay. Um, so we're going to be talking about all of those people this week. And then your job is what I'd like you to do is write down the person's name as we talk about them, and then write down how they shaped our community. So, what did this person do to impact or help our community grow, or what did they do for us? Okay. So that's what I want you to do. At the end of watching all of these different people, you are then going to choose one person and do a little project on that person, and that will be due Friday. Okay. So the first person we're going to talk about is Daniel Boone.
Daniel Boone was born in 1734 in Pennsylvania. Few settlers lived west of his family's house. Daniel grew up to help settle the American frontier.
Okay, so I'm starting to think that maybe he had something to do with the American frontier. I'm not really sure what that means yet, so we're going to keep reading to find out.
Daniel grew up in a one-room log cabin. He had 10 brothers and sisters. Daniel's family was friends with local American Indians. These Indians taught Daniel how to hunt animals and live off the land. Daniel was one of the first white explorers in Kentucky. He led many settlers there. Daniel founded 2 towns in Kentucky. He also fought against American Indians. Other settlers saw Daniel as a hero. In 1799, Daniel moved to Missouri. There, he was treated like a celebrity. Daniel's poor health kept him from hunting much. He spent his last years enjoying time with his children and grandchildren. Daniel grew ill and died in 1820. People remember him as a brave explorer and an honest man. Daniel helped open up the frontier so his country could grow.
Okay, so now you should know, you know, what did Daniel Boone do for the community? What was his purpose? And what is he known for? And then I'll just tell you This picture, remember in nonfiction, we have pictures, and then this little thing's called a caption that tells us about the picture. So Daniel was buried in Frankford Cemetery in Frankford, Kentucky. Okay. The next person we're going to talk about is Juan de Leonte.
Biographies.
Juan de Oñate was a Spanish explorer. He founded the colony of New Mexico for Spain. Juan was born around 1550 in Mexico. His father, Cristobal Oñate, owned a silver mine.
Okay, so I want you to think this already told us what Juan did for a community. What did he do? Okay, so I want you to look at that again.
Juan married Isabel de Tolsa Cortez. Her grandfather was the explorer Hernan Cortez. In 1583, Juan became interested in New Mexico. In 1595, the King of Spain said Juan could settle New Mexico.
Okay, that talks a little bit about more what he did.
Juan finally left for New Mexico in 1598. He founded the New Mexico colony in July. He became governor. In 1601, Juan went in search of legendary treasure. He went as far as California, but did not find any treasure.
Okay, and this is a drawing that Juan's group drew of a buffalo they saw in 1599.
In 1607, Juan quit as governor of New Mexico. In 1613, he was banished from Mexico City for poor leadership and crimes against American Indians. He went to Spain, where he died in 1630. Juan was an explorer and harsh governor. Juan did not find riches in his travels, but he did explore and found what is now New Mexico. He opened more of the Southwest United States to Spanish colonists.
Okay, so that reiterates what Juan did. So if you could jot that down, just some what he did and his name, so you can remember. And remember, guys, we're going to talk about a few other people. You are more than welcome to pause at this point and come back tomorrow to read about Christopher Columbus, or you can do it all in one sitting. It's really your choice. And then remember, at the end of all of these, you're going to choose one that you would like to do a project on. Okay,
Explorers.
Our next person is Christopher Columbus.
Future sailor and explorer Christopher Columbus was born in Italy in 1451. His father was a weaver. Christopher made cloth in his father's shop, but he dreamed about sailing on the seas. Christopher's father asked him to sell their cloth in far-off places. Christopher learned to sail large ships. Sailors had always traveled east from Europe to reach Asia. Christopher wanted to try sailing west.
With help from the Queen of Spain, Christopher and his crew sailed west in 1492. After 71 days, they landed on an island in the Americas. Christopher thought they had landed in Asia. People called Taino already lived on the island.
Christopher made 4 trips to the islands in the Americas. Today we know the islands as San Salvador and Hispaniola. Christopher never knew he had sailed to the Americas. He thought he had found a new course to Asia. Christopher died in 1506 in Spain. He is remembered as the man who first discovered America for the people of Europe. He inspired many other sailors to explore the world.
Okay, so here's a little bit about Christopher Columbus and his contributions. Okay, so the next few people we learn about, they fall under an umbrella called the Founding Fathers. Okay, these next few gentlemen came together to do with one mission in mind, and they had to work together to achieve it. Okay, so I'm going to. So if you choose the Founding Fathers for your project, you'll kind of hit all of these people. Okay. So first we're going to talk about Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson was a founding father and third president of the United States. He was born in 1743 in Virginia. At that time, Virginia was a British colony. Thomas grew up on a farm. As a child, he enjoyed reading. Thomas went to the College of William and Mary. In 1767, he became a lawyer. He was a great thinker and writer. Thomas wrote about the colonists' rights. In 1776, Thomas wrote the Declaration of Independence. Thomas's words inspired colonists to fight for their freedom in the Revolutionary War. The colonies won the war in 1783. Then Thomas helped form the United States of America. In 1801, Thomas became president. As president, Thomas helped the United States buy the Louisiana Territory. In 1809, Thomas returned to his home in Virginia. There, he helped build the University of Virginia. Thomas died on July 4th, 1826. As president, Thomas helped double the size of the United States. He is remembered as a man who helped found and grow the country. But most of all, we remember him as the father of the Declaration of Independence.
All right, so he helped shape our community a lot of
Biographies.
ways. But I want you to pull out what the biggest thing is. And let's see if our next founding father has something in common. Okay, George Washington's our next founding
George
father.
Washington was the first president of the United States. He was born in Virginia in 1732. He grew up on a farm. George went to school for a short time, but he mostly studied at home. George began working as a surveyor at age 16. In 1759, George married Martha Custis. She and her 2 children came to live with George. They lived at his plantation called Mount Vernon. Hundreds of enslaved people worked there. The Revolutionary War began in 1775. George led the army of American colonists. They fought and won against Great Britain. In 1787, George led a group to form the government of the new United States of America. In 1789, George was elected the first U.S. president. He helped plan the capital city, Washington, D.C., which was named for him. George was president for 8 years. Many people wanted him to serve longer, but he said no. After serving as president, George went home to Mount Vernon. He died in 1799. George fought for and helped to shape the United States. Americans remember him as the father of his country.
Alrighty, so he was also a
Pebble
founding
Go.
father. We're going to learn about Alexander Hamilton. He is also a founding father.
Alexander Hamilton was an early leader in the U.S. government. Alexander was born around 1755 in the West Indies. In 1765, his father left the family. He became an orphan when his mother died in 1768. As a teenager, Alexander worked for a trading company. Alexander was skilled and he worked hard. In 1772, the company helped send him to school in North America. In 1775, the Revolutionary War broke out. Alexander supported the 13 colonies as they fought Great Britain. He became an army colonel. In 1783, the colonies won the war. Alexander then helped shape the U.S. government. In 1789, Alexander became Secretary of the U.S. Treasury. He helped pass a law that set up the first national bank. Hamilton later led the Federalist Party. This group believed in a strong national government. In 1804, Alexander was killed in a duel with U.S. Vice President Aaron Burr. Alexander is a founding father who helped shape the U.S. government. He was honored by being shown on the $10 bill.
All right, so he is also a founding father.
History makers.
Okay, Benjamin Franklin is also founding father.
Benjamin Franklin was one of the founding fathers of the United States. He was born in 1706 in Boston. He began school at age 8, but he quit school at age 10 to work. He helped his father make candles and soap. Benjamin didn't like his job. He liked to read and write. His brother owned a printing press. Benjamin helped him print newspapers. In 1726, Benjamin moved to Philadelphia. He wrote Poor Richard's Almanac. Benjamin was interested in science. He learned that lightning is electricity. He invented the lightning rod to protect houses from lightning. He became postmaster and improved the mail system. People liked his ideas. In 1776, Benjamin asked France to help the American colonies win freedom from Great Britain. In 1783, the colonists won the Revolutionary War. With France's help, the United States of America formed. Benjamin helped write the U.S. Constitution in 1787. In 1790, Benjamin died. Americans remember him for the ideas, inventions, and help he gave to the United States.
Alrighty.
Biographies.
Last founding father we're going to talk
Presidents
about
and First Ladies.
is John Adams.
President John Adams was born October 30th, 1735, in Massachusetts. His father was a farmer, and his mother was a homemaker. John's parents taught him to read. Later, John had classes at small schools. John went to Harvard College in 1751. He studied religion, science, and math. After John graduated, he taught school for a few years. John then became a lawyer. In 1764, John married Abigail Smith. In 1765, John led protests against unfair taxes. He said Great Britain was wrong to tax the U.S. colonies. In 1776, John urged the colonies to declare their independence from Britain. The U.S. colonies won the Revolutionary War in 1783. In 1789, John was elected the first U.S. vice president, with George Washington as president. John became president in 1797. He made sure the military was strong. As president, John avoided war with France. He worked on a peaceful solution, even when others wanted war. John died in 1826. He is remembered for always trying to do what was right, even if it wasn't popular.
All right, so he was also a founding father. So I want you to think about all these gentlemen we just read about: Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, George Washington, and Alexander Hamilton, and think about what was something they all had in common that they did, because that's what they did together to shape our community. Okay, and then you will go to Canvas, and your activity is to choose one of the people we just read about. And it says on a piece of construction paper, but you can do this in your notebook also, what you learned about this person. So this is how I will be grading you, is that you get 15 points just for choosing one of these people. And then you draw an illustration that represents that person. And then you tell me where you found your information. So if you found your information just from this video, then you'll put Pebble Go. If you find more information about that person, please tell me where you find it, whether it's Google or Britannica Kids or something like that. And then tell me, what did that person do to shape our community? And I want 3 facts about your person and how they shaped that community. They're 15 points each fact, so a total of 45 points. Okay. And if you need help with some sentence starters, you might say, like, if I chose Daniel Boone, then I would say, we remember Daniel Boone today because of blank, or Daniel Boone contributed by blank, or without Daniel Boone, we might not have blank. Okay, so this will be due Friday. Please make sure that you get this done. Come to a study hall if you have any questions. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.